Salvete Spectatores, it's Masopust. Welcome to Tyranny. It's the release day actually, and this will be uploaded directly after I play, so fresh as fresh goes. We will dive right in and I'm gonna talk about the story and the world as we go, but I did my Paradox account, credits, well yeah, okay. So this is old school RPG like Pillars of Eternity from Obsidian, released by Paradox, and it's a little bit shorter, it's condensed, it has new features, other features, and the differences to other RPGs we'll talk about later as well, so let's go right in. Okay, the difficulty. We have noob, standard, normal difficulty. So one review I read says that the difficulty it's too easy and the combat is not too deep, so we go at least this one, or maybe Path of the Damned. Let's look at this. Veteran players of Isometric RPGs. Okay. The Path of the Damned difficulty. Enemies receive a bonus to most stats, have the most efficient AI, and will very frequently use abilities. Party members take more wounds during combat and when being knocked out. Okay. This difficulty can only be chosen when starting a new game. So we can decrease the difficulty during the game? So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with the hardest one. What does this say? Expert mode. Disables a number of helper features. Okay. Players who want to rely on their own faculties and intuition while playing the game should play expert mode. Okay, so let's do it. I have no idea what that means. I guess that maybe a display to how we enrage a faction or help another person is not displayed. Trial of Iron. Oh man, I like the music, it's epic. If Trial of Iron is enabled, only one save slot is permitted. If your party is defeated, the game ends. No, that's not what I want to do. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die, especially often when I play under the Path of the Damned. Okay, I recommend it only for those who seek a great... well, I do seek a greater challenge, but not this great. Okay, let's go. Oh, I thought the video already started. It did not. So this is the standard screen. Here we have some tips. Hey, this is me in the lower right corner, the small human figure. That's the Fatebinder, and I'm pretty sure the faces here are Archons. Tunun the Judicator is in the top. I can see the Archon of War and the Archon of Intelligence, I guess, to the lower right. I have no idea who the guy with the strange helmet in the middle is. And on the left is, I believe, Sirin. I'm gonna talk about the characters later. Wow, I'm so excited. I actually pre-ordered the game because I was so hyped by the dev diaries and news that came out. Well, unlike most enemies, Bane deal large amounts of arcane damage. Your normal defenses won't work as well against them. Yeah, there was a video that had been released a time ago where they fought against Bane and lost. And the loading now could be a little bit quicker. Alright.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kyros the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kyros' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Grave in ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kyros' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kyros' minions. Tunon brings Kyros' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kyros' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Very sweet. Okay, so I guess I was wrong. The guy with the steel helmet was Voices of Nerad, one of the Archons. All right, let's do this. I don't want to spend too much time here. We have male or female. What the hell? Okay. So actually, I want to do something different from before. First, I want to play a woman because I don't think I've ever played a female character before. It doesn't make too much difference, but there it is. And I also want to play a pure mage, which I don't think I've ever done before. Okay, skin color. Shall we be black, brown, lighter, fair, very fair. Interesting. I like the art style. It looks like it's drawn in 3D. Interesting. I really like this one, the second brownest color. Okay. In the Northern Empire, where we were born, women enjoy equal protections under the law of Overlord Kyros. So the colored words are tooltips which explain stuff to us that you as Fatebinder should know. Kyros is a name out of a legend. For centuries, the Overlord has consolidated power, sending vast armies to swallow entire realms. Okay, we don't know if it's a team, if it's a dynasty, if it's a man, a woman, a mage, but he or she or they sure have magical powers because they can call edicts. In the southern lands of the Tiers, women may crew a ship, but only men may own or captain a vessel. Okay. While these customs give the oceans to the men, the lands are trusted to the women. Men may rent and lease, but only women may own land and bequeath it to their daughters and sisters. That's interesting. So, complete opposite from European medieval times. Interesting. So the sea is manly and the land is female. Interesting. While following a parent's profession is standard, many women choose to pledge service to one of the Overlord's powerful Archons. Those without a viable trade or lands to call their own are often drafted into the armies of the Archons. Okay, so here we go. Next. Face and hair. Okay. Can we get closer? Let's see. I don't think this makes too much of a difference. I like this one. Yeah, let's pick the last one. She looks a little bit mean, actually. Hair. I don't want to have no hair at all. We can have standard long hair, sort of open. Ooh, I like the braid. Ah, this one doesn't look too good. Never mind. We are still a fighter, so we should have also kind of practical hair. That's right. Ugh, no, that's not for me. Yeah, well, I think the standard hair is fine. Well, it's not practical. Willow Mage, we're not a super 100% fighter. Voice, female, hair color. Can we have blonde hair? Ooh, this looks horrible. Ooh, actually. I mean, I have played Witcher, so this looks fine for Steve. She's somewhat tanned, but that's alright. Female aggressive.
Moving cautiously. My wounds are slowing me down. Found something.
Noble. Sneaky.
Heads up, we have company.
So we call...
Good work.
Let's do it noble. Ooh, we can select a tattoo. That's cool. On the left hand. Ooh, that's nice actually. That's a bit too much. Alright. I don't want to spend too much time, but I want to play... Ooh, this is cool. I want to play thoroughly. This reminds me of Aang, the Avatar. The Legend of Aang. What color? I think kind of a purple is nice, or blue. Or red, because I don't think we see anything apart from black. Let's do this. Okay, we have to have a face. I wonder if they select the face for me. Okay, we of course have to pick a female face. Okay, they start here. I want to be a mage, so I have to select a magen face. This doesn't fit very well. An archer. Okay, this is magical, but not really. It looks good, but she has no... Can we do that? Can we have a character doesn't, which face does not fit? Whose face? Well, let's select the black hair and go with this one. Sounds good. How did you join Kyros' army? I guess this has some influence to our stats, which we can't see. We're definitely not a pit fighter. What the hell do I have on my chin? This looks horrible. Ah! I have to go back once and select another tattoo.
You learn something every day.
I'm sorry guys, this takes long. You can skip, I will put in a timestamp when the actual play starts. This looks cool. Fine. Next one. A War Mage, that's what I like. Tunon. Tunon the Adjudicator is the Archon of Justice, ruler of the conquered realms and arbiter of disputes. Oldest of the Archons sent to conquer the Tears, Tunon speaks with Kyros' authority. His true appearance remains hidden. So we are actually his disciple, his subordinate. I'm pretty sure I want to be a War Mage. Makes most sense out of these. Few have the combination of wits and courage to be accomplished casters and warriors, and those cursed with such a combination of talents are invariably pulled from their mundane lives and assigned to the armies of the Archons. The earliest memories are a painful slog of training, study, lecture and exhaustion, all the elements of being groomed for battle. You know better than to ask what became of your family, nor to question the missives allegedly penned by their hand, or a part of your earliest lessons in reading. When you reached adulthood, Tunon the Adjudicator came to the barracks and laid claim to your life. Seeing as too valuable for the crucible of battle, the Archon of Justice deemed your life better spent dedicated to the art of punitive legal remedies. What? Though you had much to learn in matters of civil discourse, none could deny your bright future. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about War Mage, but we'll go with it. Primary expertise. You received training in the arts of war, the intrigue of magic, and the deaths of Kyros law. Sword and shield, nope. Greatsword, nope. Short bow. Shock spells. Vigor spells. One of these four, of course. Unarmed attacks. Who chooses this one? It gives a bonus to dodge, athletic subterfuge. Okay, dual wielding javelin. Nope. So, let's look at this. Mages skilled in shock. Ooh, we get a nice outfit. Okay. With a short bow, we look like an assassin. Greatsword, we have a nice armor. Okay. I really like the style. The game is set in a Bronze to Iron Age era. So you can see from the outfits here that they don't really look medieval. I mean, they have a fantasy theme to it, of course. Dual wielding is also cool. But they don't have the heavy armor of late medieval times. You learn this ability, Charged Fist. Channel an explosive surge of electrical energy, releasing it all at once on a nearby enemy. Okay, a single target spell, interesting. Control lightning, magic staff, dodge, lore. So the effects are always the same. It's atrophy, frost, Lightning and Vigor. Interesting. What? Okay. So the gleaming here changes. Interesting. So Vigor gives us Titan's Touch. Fill the target with a surge of greatness, granting them a bonus to might and vitality. So I'm pretty sure this is... The School of Vigor is a utility branch of magic that focuses on granting bonuses to yourself and your allies. I don't think I want to be a supporting mage, I want to be a offensive mage. Okay, interrupting. So atrophy. Gather entropic energy and channel it to an enemy. Okay, this seems also to debuff. Weakening their attacks, making them easier to kill. And Frost. Frost magic is an offensive school that focuses on slowing enemies as well as dealing cold damage. I wonder... Frozen Grasps. Envelop a target in harsh winter cold, leaving them frozen for a time. So either shock spells or frost spells. Damage 13 to 19 shock. And pushing them 8 meters. So this does less damage, but they're frozen. What does frozen do? I guess we can find out in-game then. I lean towards shock, actually, not the other one. Lesser Staff of Storm's Heart. Interesting. Okay, they get a different weapon, and if we pick the Greatsword, they get a Bronze Greatsword or 2 weapons. Okay, I get it. Fine, we are a shock mage. School of Lightning, that's fine. Secondary expertise. Interesting. I guess we won't be in close combat, so... Okay, here it says, believing that all of his agents should be well-rounded, tune in order that you receive training in a secondary combat style. Fatebaners are often deployed into treacherous circumstances. Okay. I don't want to do... shortbow doesn't make any sense to my mind. Unarmed attacks, so nothing of the... They use different skills, you know, so we have to pick one of the magic skills. And I wonder if it makes sense to have both on shock. I don't think so. So I want to be a debuff and damage guy. The positive supporting character will be another one, not I for myself. Or should I be supportive? I don't know. My choice would be Sirin as a second supportive mage character, and I think she also is more on the damage dealing and debuffing side. So I think it makes sense to be Shock and Vigor. The School of Vigor. Yeah, let's do this. Grant him a bonus to Might and Vitality, and this one, sapping their targets. So it's pretty much direct opposites. Yeah, let's be the positive force. Makes sense. Okay. Okay. We can apparently select our personal banner. Sword doesn't make much sense. We have to pick a magical symbol. Wow, there's quite a lot. Let's go through them quickly. Should be something of an arcane symbol. The sun makes a little bit of sense. Ah, well, we have lightning as our primary magic, so maybe a bolt or something like that. This actually looks quite... Ah, well, it doesn't really say anything. A tree? No, not really. Crossbows looks funny. I want easy to... Well, this symbol looks good. This looks pretty nice. And we are a lightning character, so blue makes most sense. No, this should be black. This should be blue. Wow, I don't see anything here. Maybe a little bit lighter. Yeah, well, red is also fine. Let's have a red. Well, the Scarlet Chorus is red, so I don't want to be too red there. We can pick gray, right? This looks nice. This sounds looks quite lightning-y. Maybe a different symbol. I think we're good. But this doesn't mean anything, actually. Well, this looks like a staff with wind, so this makes also much sense. But I like symmetric ones. Maybe this one. I don't know. I think we keep this one. Character colors. So this is... Oh, my armor. Alright. Yeah, we are, as I mentioned, a mage of lightning. So white, grey, black sounds good. Well, no. Grey and white, maybe? This is too aggressive. Complete white doesn't look... This would be fit more for frost. This one in grey, completely grey. I guess this looks fine. It's grey and white. This is wind, right? Okay, let's go. Enter name. So I'm gonna go with Masopust. I don't think it's exclusively male name. Works female as well. Okay, here we can spend actually 8 standard points, and we can go down with different skills as this is attributes as well. Okay. Might, physical strength of a character doesn't make sense. A character's physical and mental precision. Finesse is used to determine accuracy of attacks and spells. Okay, so this makes a little bit sense. So I just indicate that I will use it. Quickness determines how often a character can use their abilities and spells in combat. Well, that makes sense. Vitality increases the will and defense. Okay. The will defense opposes mentally based attacks. Okay. I don't think my mage will suffer from their mage's attacks. Okay, this is fine. Accuracy. Might doesn't make much sense. Wits. The wits attribute describes a character's mental acuity. Ability wits is used to increase spell strength. Yeah, that's our primary stat. And resolve. Ability to endure physical and mental challenges. Okay. Afflictions are... Okay, they are debuffs and buffs. This also makes sense. Okay. So I definitely I don't need any might whatsoever. And I don't think any vitality. So... Our wits does spell strength. Let's go to 15. Let's see about that. Plus 25% spell strength. This sounds good. And this also needs to be quite high. Ability and spell cooldown. Well, maybe let's go to 12%. Finesse, accuracy is also nice. And resolve. Affliction duration. Let's keep these stats at 10 for now and go to 16 and 15. It's 30% spell strength and 15% spell cooldown. This attribute is recommended for you because you're training in shock spells. Ooh, wait a second. This attribute is recommended for you because of your training in vigor spells. Why is that? Finesse I don't need. That sounds odd. We might want to change that, actually. Let's do as a secondary the frost. And go for white. Okay. Now it doesn't say that. Okay. Quickness, shock spells. Wits, shock spells and frost spells. Okay. So we don't need vitality. We don't need finesse. We'll leave it at 10 though. Go to 20% here. 12. Let's keep it that way. Fine. Next one. Skills. Okay, so these are the skills that are also influenced by our attributes. Control frost and control lightning. Yeah, we have to pump up these two. Interesting. Dodge is recommended because of our training in shock spells. Magic Staff we will have to increase. This skill is strongly recommended because we have both our magic schools here. Effectiveness of attacks using magical staff. More accurate attacks, critical strikes. Okay. So we have to upgrade this one at least to, let's say, 35. We can't go down here though. Lore. Is lore recommended to us? Okay, yeah. Shock spells and frost spells. What does lore do? Lore skills determines a character's ability to decipher information and put together clues from fragments of information. Let's go to 50 right there. Well, it says we need dodge, but I will keep that low for now. Don't need the rest at all. Control lightning is our primary stat, so get this up to 40 and this up to 30. We have one more point. Let's put it in staff. That's fine. Yeah, we want to do the Conquest, that's for sure. So this is a mode that lets you decide what happened 3 years past.
All the world has fallen to Kyros, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kyros' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kyros a century prior.
Oh, okay.
In the early days of 428, Kyros' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
Okay. During the Conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kyros' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter. I know. 428, you're one of Kyros' Conquest. The Bastard City. The Bastard City, named for its position between 2 realms, the Northern Empire and the Southern Tears, the Bastard City and its surrounding lands, known as the Bastard Tier, is a melting pot of cultures and a place of commerce and intrigue. So, something like a free city. Oh, here it goes. The Tearsmen of the South view the Bastard City as a place of wealth and access. But to the people of the Northern Empire, the Bastard City is little more than a sprawling slum. Tunin the Adjudicator established his court in the Bastard City. From this foothold in the Tears, he and his court of Fatebinders imposed Kyros' law. Okay. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kyros' empire and the Tears. Built upon a natural harbor and a crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To Northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. It basically says the same here. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kyros' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kyros' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kyros' will is insurmountable. Select a token on the map to begin. Gates of Judgment. Infiltrate the Tears. Both armies sent their forces to prepare the way. So it makes sense to first infiltrate, right? History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the Conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? Oops. Disciplined and battle-hardened, the Disfavored are an elite legion in Kyros' army. They spearheaded the conquest of the Younger Realms, finding themselves always outnumbered, but never outclassed. Led by the steadfast and dutiful Graven Ash, whom they follow with obsessive devotion, they are committed to imposing their interpretation of order upon the relative lawlessness of the tiers. The Legion only tolerates Northerners in their ranks. Interesting thing is that Graven Ash himself was once an enemy of Kyros, but upon defeat became his most loyal servant. The Scarlet Chorus is little more than a gang of thugs and their captive slaves. Rather than organized under commissioned officers, the Chorus follows a hierarchy seemingly ruled by whoever has the bravado to command and defend their position. At the head of this chaotic pecking order, the Archon of Secrets, better known as the Voices of Nerad, treats the Scarlet Chorus as his personal army. The Scarlet Chorus often suffers tremendous losses after battle, only to swell in the aftermath when captured enemies and collateral prisoners are given the cruel opportunity to join or die. Well, it doesn't really suit me well to conscript enemy fighters for this guy. I like the ways of the Disfavored much better. Aid the Disfavored scouts. You lend your skill to the elite Disfavored scouts to capture a border garrison. Graven Ash insisted that an early victory in the offensive would boost the morale of his troops and diminish the haughty overconfidence of the Southerners. Alright. The Oathbound scouts identified a modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw their preparations and offered your opinions on the strategy. When a clashing of swords and spears fell to silence, followed by the cheering of Disfavored scouts, you were the least surprised. Oh, we can only pick one ourselves. Okay, interesting. So we can't take this one now. Inside Agent. You found an ally within a city to prepare the way for the approaching armies. Or Containing the Fire. The Bastard City's resident fire mages threatened the first leg of the conquest. Kyros' forces put a stop to their unchecked power. Well, this sounds much more dangerous. Your fiercest opponents in the Bastard City were the mages of the School of Wild Wrath. Too barbaric to use their power responsibly, the unbridled practitioners needed to be stopped. How did you trick the hot-tempered mages into their own undoing? A meeting with the Voices of Nerad? Lure them to this favored ambush. Huh. You lured the hot-headed mages to an ambush, where a legion of Disfavored waiting to spring a trap. The soldiers were hungry for a chance to subdue the arcane branch of Tyr's resistance. Yeah, well, what would be the alternative? You tricked the guild elders into a meeting with the Voices of Nerad, Archon of Secrets. The Archon was notorious for his cruelty and mysterious interrogation techniques. Well, do we want to... I don't know. Let's see about that. Known in his official capacity as the Archon of Secrets, the Voices of Nerad is equal parts a genius and madman. Rumors abound that he can steal the minds of others, though few, if any, are alive to confirm as much. The subjects of his interrogation are never heard from again, and the Archon is able to recall the memories of his victims with startling accuracy. He's the inconsistent leader of the Scarlet Chorus, vacillating between commanding from the vanguard and directing his armies in absentia. Despite his strange methods, no one doubts that the Voices of Nerad is an accomplished strategist, even suggesting that his madness stems from thinking hundreds, perhaps thousands of steps ahead. Now, I don't want to strengthen the Voices of Nerad, I don't really like this guy, so let's again go with the Disfavored ambush. The mages took their more dangerous research outside of the Bastard City walls. You sent a scout to sabotage a delicate ritual which caused an explosion that injured and killed many of the senior practitioners. Enraged. Interesting. Huh. The survivors expended themselves on a chase through the surrounding hills, where the Disfavored surrounded them and brought them to heel. The few that survived the attack were conscripted by the Scarlet Court. Interesting. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kyros' forces. But you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the Bastard City? So this already happened 3 years prior to our actual beginning of the game. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Duel the city marshal. Incite a riot. Spread fear through assassination. Keeping to the shadows, you eliminated the leaders of the Bastard City one by one. We would gain an ability or something like that. Concealing shadows once per encounter. Self plus 100% grace deflection. Interesting. Create a cloud of obscuring shadows and dust. For a short duration, enemies that use physical attacks against you have a significant increase. Okay, this is maybe to get just a get out of jail card or get out of engagement card. Spreading the word of Kyros, you convert the poor and disaffected into hidden army of the Scarlet Chorus. Interesting. We would get Searing Palm. Gather heated energy into your hands and release it unto a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. Interesting. Fire magic. This I really like. It would fit my ability. Betrayal of the Bastard City. You challenge the commander of the Bastard City defenses to an honorable fight to the death. That his favored wish to spare soldier lives for the battles ahead and civilian lives for occupation. We would get Stand your ground in the face of defeat. During this time you will regenerate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. Wow, this seems very strong as well. Plus 17% health every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. Huh. It's 70% health something. Wow, this is very good. But I actually want this fire magic ability, so and I like the thought of a riot. It didn't take much to convince the Bastard City downtrodden that Kyros was the superior power. You armed them with weapons and knowledge of a signal you would raise when the time was right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited a spark that fanned their anger into full-scale riot. The chaos they spread in Kyros' name weakened the city to such an extent that its inevitable fall was but a formality. Oh, very nice. Okay. The Bastard City settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kyros' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into 2 fronts and migrated south. Tunin sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kyros' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethian's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. You may choose only one, yeah, I guess that. Lethian's Crossing, as a judge and overseer of the settlement of this, or as a war advisor. So, deposits of iron made the settlement of Lethian's Crossing a strategic war asset. Kyros sent to forge-bound smith mages of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Tunin the Adjudicator sent one of his fate binders to ensure the enforcement of Kyros' law. Makes sense. The troops of the mountain realm of Apex stood idle in the safety of their valley, biding their time as their neighbors in the Bastard tier fell. In the second year of war, a joint force of the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus crossed over the mountains to take the control of the tier's central valley. I actually, because we are a judge, right? It makes more sense to do the Lethian's Crossing, and it makes sense on a strategic level to get the iron deposit going, right? So let's do this. It's 429 now, year 2. Lathian's Crossing. Years ago, Lathian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and the mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Okay. Lathian's Crossing drew Kyros' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kyros' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary supports with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Tunin dispatched you to travel alongside Kyros' forces and bring order to the region. Okay, a mercenary company. Yeah, well, I think they will play a role. Again, 2 decisions to be made. The cult of Sirin. The Archon of Song's power ensnared the mind of a disfavored soldier. The iron must flow. You found a clever solution to improve production of iron weapons and armor. Well, I'm super interested in Sirin, so I will pick up everything there is about her, definitely. Sirin, Archon of Song, used her arcane charm to lure locals into joining Kyros' army. There she already worked for Kyros, apparently. She's very young. As a patroness of the Scarlet Chorus, what? Her efforts were critical to the conscription of new recruits. When an enthralled, disfavored soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archon was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. Send Sirin's cult to the vanguard. Destroy Sirin's cult. Shows Sirin was within the ranks of Kyros but became too powerful, apparently. You sent the latest batch of cultists to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Those who survived were welcome to remain in Kyros military, and their performance was set as testimony of Sirius' effectiveness. The disfavored demanded that the Archon of Song ceased her recruitment practices and that they be allowed to violently subdue her cult of followers. Actually, I want to be friends with her. So both are kind of anti-Sirin. I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna select the other one now. Kyros' smith mages worked day and night to create weapons. No one faulted their dedication, yet production was low. The plans that came to light proved divisive to the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. On one hand, any additional manpower was needed for fighters, not forgers. On the other hand, the celebrated weaponry of Kyros' armies need to be fiercely guarded. Draw from the Scarlet Chorus recruits. Conscripted tribe of beastmen. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. The Scarlet Chorus took refugees from the recent influx and forced them to serve in Kyros military. You repurposed these individuals to haul wagons of iron for the smith mages. This proved an inconvenience to the Scarlet Chorus, who relied on their forces of numbers. Okay. You conscripted help from a local tribe of beastmen. Their strength would more than offset their disobedience. The disfavored protested that the savages have access to the secrets of iron, but their voices were few compared to this. Well, no, we will compare the disfavored, for sure. The population of Lathian's Crossing had swelled from the emptying of lands destroyed by Kyros' armies. Interesting. Although the Scarlet Chorus fought to keep the refugees under their control, the need for production could not wait. The new recruits were reassigned to haul iron ore from treacherous mine shafts. Labor more befitted slaves than Kyros' artisans. Though the disfavored grew stronger with the advantage of more weapons, the Scarlet Chorus diminished as their ranks found themselves with one less opportunity for growth. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay. Pick of the armory. As the forges improved production, both armies demanded preferential treatment. A garden's due. Tensions rose as disfavored and Scarlet Chorus soldiers rubbed elbows with mercenaries hired to guard the forges. This sounds fun. Kyros' armies used Lathian's Crossing as a reprieve from the war. The city grew more crowded as a mercenary army hired by the Archon of Secrets occupied the barracks, where they drained resources and escalated tensions. The disfavored wanted nothing to do with the sellswords, but the Scarlet Chorus sought to invite them into the fold. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with the disfavored all the way. Challenge their worth, segregate the mercenaries, yeah. The disfavored demanded that the mercenaries be kept far from Kyros' armies. The righteous occupiers would not deign to share provisions or supplies with degenerate sellswords. Degenerate. You built a separate barracks and mess hall in order to keep the sellswords out of the army's way, and enacted strict laws against disorderly conduct. The elite soldiers from the north had little patience for sellswords under the best of circumstances, and showed open contempt for mercenaries born in the tiers. They demanded that all armies, including their own soldiers, follow strict military discipline and be restricted to quarters when not on duty. After some discussion, he agreed that separate accommodations were the best possible solution. Though the sellswords barked at the oppressive foreign custom, you convinced them that it was the safest course. Who controlled the crossing? Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the voices of Nerat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kyros' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the front. As the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility towards each other, Tunon decreed it best that only one force controlled the crossing. So the forge-bound are mage-smiths so under Kyros' service, though their operations in the tiers are overseen by Tunon and his court of Fatebinders. Each forge-bound uses magic as a tool to augment their personal craft, most commonly smelting and metalworking, but carpenters, tailors, and tanners are found in the ranks, and each mage strives to create that which is impossible with mundane hands. Most notably, the forge-bound are the sole masters of ironworking in the known world. Using spells of fire resistance to wade into the forge fires, the forge-bound can work iron at temperatures no other forge can match, and with a hands-on touch that no mundane smith could hope to achieve. Because of this vital skill, the forge-bound are considered a strategic war asset, their lives regimented and controlled so that the forgers may churn out iron arms and armor without debate, delay, or distraction. Who controlled the crossing? Of course, the disfavored. The disfavored placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lethian's Crossing. Though the force was larger than might be needed to police the small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmiths became the true agenda of their defense force, as these magical craftsmen kept the disfavored invasion force suited in iron. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lethian's Crossing felt they got the least of two burdens. You received word from Gravenash thanking you for your decision. The forge-bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the voices of Nerat. Alright. So we can't do the Kingdom of Apex. Okay, you may choose only one of these locations. A Vellum Citadel. Kyros' conquering gaze fell upon the Vellum Citadel. Its treasures, its knowledge, its secrets. Kyros dispatched the Archon of Stone to subjugate the nation of Azure, or Stalwart. With its easily defended position and rich military tradition, the realm of Stalwart was the most formidable realm in the tiers. Well, Vellum Citadel. I don't know. I have no information about that. The nation of Azure is big. Let's go for the Vellum Citadel. This sounds like I don't know, magical or highly developed country. Three years of Kyros Conquest, so it takes definitely a time. 3 years of war is quite a long time indeed. By the way, this first episode will be kind of the 0 episode, and this goes longer and just covers the conquest and the character creation, and with the 1 episode, which should be released pretty soon after this one, we will do the first real Let's Play here. The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. Nice. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that, centuries ago, carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legend said that the citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord's spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment into the great library fortress and force the scholar to yield to Kyros. The Vellum Citadel was a library fortress, the largest archive. Okay, nothing new here. Also, 2 decisions. A peaceful surrender turned bloody. Siren's song ensnared some stealthy sages. Siren, Archon of Song, used her power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the city walls. After Kyros' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge. A crime under Kyros law. With the Scarlet Chorus. Muzzle the mages, punish the disfavored. I really like that. What's this one? A detachment of Kyros' army marched on the Vellum Citadel, expecting an orderly surrender. As they neared the main gates, a blast of arcane energy struck the commanders dead. Suddenly the highest ranking officer alive, Kyros' forces looked to you for the next steps. The call waited on your mind, as it had an immediate influence on soldier losses. Interesting. So here we can order one of the 2 armies to attack and it gains favors with the other one. You ordered the expendable Scarlet Chorus to attack, commanding the disorderly mob forward to give the elite disfavored a chance to withdraw. Though a costly maneuver in terms of life cost, this assured the survival of the most capable and effective soldiers. Ever itching for a fight, the howling mob still recognized your maneuver, the sacrificial move that it was. Those from the Scarlet Chorus who ran headlong into battle made promises of a reckoning upon their return. Thankfully for you, hardly any of them limped back in one piece. Those few who survived made fevered whisperings their grievances, naming you as a villain to the Scarlet Chorus. Oha, okay, this could be bad. Lost to the mountains. Intercepted intelligence resulted in a lost disfavored patrol. Plunder of parchment. A dispute over contraband parchment turned violent. The army captured a sudden caravan overflowing with arcane books. When the disfavored started a bonfire of forbidden text, the Scarlet Chorus rescued the tomes from the flames and attacked. Wow, it really turns out that the disfavored don't have the best options here at all. The disfavored learned of a hidden enemy enclave and sent scouts to locate it. They never returned from their mission. The remaining disfavored soldiers demanded that you send the Scarlet Chorus to retrieve their scouts, but the Scarlet Chorus flatly refused to fall into the same trap. They recommended the scouts be treated as wartime casualties. Yeah, we do that. Send the Scarlet Chorus to rescue the lost scouts. Though the Scarlet Chorus were bitter at having their time wasted in search of lost soldiers, grandstanding before their rivals in the disfavored was an opportunity delicious to ignore. Tracking the Legion, yielding them the sight of an ambush, where spell-slinging mages had the last of the disfavored scout pinned down. After launching a successful counterattack, the Chorus escorted the shaken and humiliated disfavored soldiers back to the camp. Yeah, well, I'm no friend of the Scarlet Chorus. Crestfallen by the preferential treatment you showed the disfavored, the Scarlet Chorus retreated deeper into the mountains, leaving your detachment with a skeleton crew. Tunin sent word that Kyros' patience has run thin. The Overlord would cast an edict of fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. Wow, are you kidding me? Why is give no warning the... Come on! No, I'm not gonna do that. Claiming they still had spies within the citadel, the Scarlet Chorus urged you to warn the mages of the Overlord's edict. Granting their request, you met with the enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. Maybe they save some of the valuable scripts there. You confronted the mages with a warning and hoped the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook and a red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved with explosive force, gushing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged on, the conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. That's interesting. Kyros' most powerful magic is that of the edict, commandments cast upon whole regions that can control and destroy man and nature alike. So, Kyros must be an extremely powerful mage. Once cast, an edict can rain fire, wither crops, demoralize cities, usher in endless night, or do whatever it is that Kyros envisioned. No known force, magical or mundane, can stop an edict, though each edict is often worded to include some condition or contingency that will see its end. Some edicts have been short-lived, delivering days of wanton catastrophe. Okay. Yeah, well, hopefully our warning here did some good. The armies of Kyros left the devastation of the Vellum Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble citadel as the Burning Library. Okay. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture and life, but a message had been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have long to rest before Tunin called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks, dwarfed by the inferno, the last grasp of survivors, or perhaps looters from Kyros' armies, bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Alright, now goes the last one of Conquest stuff. You have reached the end of Kyros' Conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start over? We're gonna continue. But at this point, I thank you all for watching. I hope this was interesting. If not, you can start with the number 1 Let's Play, where we dive right into the real action. This was just a setup. I hope you liked it, and I will see you soon.